COVID-19 confusion and controversy continue to overshadow the Australian Open. Authorities say 2 tennis players have tested positive. So far, 7 infections have been reported after players and staff flew into Melbourne. More than 70 players have been forced into a strict hotel isolation, prompting a row over quarantine rules.
High drama before the first tennis Grand Slam of the year as more COVID-19 cases emerge among players and staff. Some 1,200 people have flown into Melbourne for the Australian Open, but the growing number of infections has thrown plans into chaos.
It's not an even playing field as far as preparation goes, but we're going to play our part to try and even it up as much as possible. But every player coming down knew that if they were going to be a close contact or were going to test positive, these were going to be the conditions.
Positive cases have forced 72 players into strict hotel quarantine. It's a great disadvantage given the competitors have access to 5 hours of court practice a day. Organisers insist most players have accepted their isolation without complaint.
But now we're in a position where they're in lockdown. It's designed to protect the community. Everyone has to do it. They're getting used to that. They haven't had a hard lockdown like they have had.
Several players have complained about the quarantine, with world number 13 Bautista Agut calling his hotel room a jail with Wi-Fi. But it's top seed Novak Djokovic who has been the most vocal. The Serbian had written a list of suggestions to authorities, and they include a request to move quarantined players into private homes with tennis courts. The suggestions have earned Djokovic criticisms from several players, including Australia's Nick Kyrgios. But the answer is no.
In the case of Novak, Novak wrote a note. These weren't demands, these were suggestions, but he too is understanding what 2 weeks of lockdown means.
We're not cutting corners, we're not making special arrangements. These arrangements are in place, they're the appropriate arrangements.
However, there's a silver lining. Victoria state authorities say 2 COVID-19 cases have been reclassified as shedding, which could mean it's a previous infection. That means some players may be let out of the strict lockdown.
So if you've got, say, 30 people who are deemed a close contact because they've been on a plane with a case, and the case is no longer an active case but an historic shedding, well then that would release those people from that hard lockdown.
The Australian Open has already been delayed by 3 weeks due to the pandemic. It's scheduled to start on 8th February.